Hey everyone, my name is Ashton August with YogiApproved.com, and today we're going to learn all about the wrists. Students often ask me how to keep their wrists safe in certain poses and what to do about wrist pain. Wrist pain is a very common issue for many of us, and it can definitely impact our practice. So in order to avoid pain, to reduce pain, and to keep our wrists safe and healthy for years to come, we're going to work through a series of exercises, warm-ups, and yoga poses to protect and strengthen the wrist. When you're ready, all you'll need is a yoga mat, so meet me on it and let's get started. All right, well, to get started, the first thing that we need to review is proper hand placement. Proper hand placement is key to protecting your wrists, and I see a lot of misalignment often when it comes to this. So, first of all, when you're in common poses like downward facing dog, any poses where there's weight on the hands and the wrists, tabletop, down dog, plank, you get the picture. We really want to focus on proper hand placement and alignment. So what I often see is dead hands, kind of oven mitts. If I was to put a lot of weight onto my hands and wrist right here, I can feel all the pressure dumping directly into my wrist joint because I don't have any activity through the hands. So the way to fix that is I'm going to spread my fingers nice and wide. So follow along with me, please. And from there, I'm going to really press each individual fingertip into the mat. As I bring all this activity into my hands, I'm activating what's called Hasta Bandha, or the energy lock through my hands. So, pressing down through all of your fingertips, from here, you're going to feel the outer perimeter of your palm pressing into the mat as well. However, the center of your palm is slightly lifted. So to give you a visual, act as if you're trying to keep a ladybug alive that's underneath the center of your palm. So this is the hand placement that you want to protect your wrists. And for tabletop, or coming back into down dog, or even pulling forward to plank, that's going to keep my wrists nice and safe. All right, so that's step number one. So the next step in keeping your wrists safe is warming your wrists up before your practice. And the good news is it doesn't take a ton of time. I'll admit that I've definitely been rushed for time and just dove right into my practice without properly warming up. But I can tell you that it makes a world of difference to warm up and lubricate the wrist joint before you get started, and you only need to take a few moments to do it. So we're going to go through a couple basic wrist warm-up exercises that you can do before your practice, or if you ever have any wrist pain or wrist stiffness going on. All right, so to start, we're going to come onto our seats, and you can just sit cross-legged or kneeling, whatever feels good for you. And we're going to begin by extending our arms out long in front of us, palms facing forward. From there, take your left hand and begin to pull the right fingertips back towards your face. Now we're going to build progressively into these warm-ups, so just move slowly and do what you can. If there's ever any pain or if something's not accessible for you, that's okay, just back off and keep coming back to these exercises. Okay, back to where we started, palms forward, left fingers grab your 4 right fingertips and begin to draw them back towards the face. Nice deep breathing here. You want to be sure that you're breathing deeply and consciously throughout our stretches to help keep the body relaxed and open. Good, do one more breath here. And then from there, we're just going to reverse it. So flip the palm down, pull the fingers back towards your body now. Deep breaths. One more. Nice job, and then just shake that out. And then we'll go for side 2. Palms forward. Right fingertips are going to grab the left fingers now and gently draw them back towards the face. Remember, you can always add on to the stretch, and you can always back out of the stretch. Just take what your body needs and feel it out nice and slow. From there, flip the palm down, pull the fingers back towards your body. Deep breathing. Good, one more. Awesome, and then we'll just shake that out. And we'll move to the next one. This is a very fancy technique. We're going to interlace our fingers, and we're going to do a little roller coaster. This is awesome because this is a nice wrist stretch, and you can take this dance move out to the clubs. Take a couple breaths here, and just notice how it's making the wrist joint move up and down, getting a nice fluid motion. Feels good. And we're gently beginning to warm up and loosen up the wrist joint. Good. Now from there, we're just going to flex the palms away from us. Deep breath in and out. And you can stay here if this is enough, or you can inhale those arms up, maybe even send the gaze up too. Deep breath in and out. Nice job. Release the hands and shake them out once more. Okay, so from there, we're gonna make some fists. Extend your arms out again. Just clench your fist and begin to draw circles inward. I love this one. It is so simple, and yet it feels so good for opening up, mainly in the top part of the wrist. You can feel that. Good. And then when you're done, you can just reverse the circles. So keep in mind, we're just running through these exercises, but you can stay on each warm-up much longer if you prefer. You can always pause the video. Good, and then little figure eights, out and in, out and in. And then we'll come back to center and just spread your fingers really wide. Feel that energy flowing through the hands. And then a slight variation, we're gonna tuck our thumbs into our fists now, and then slowly just pull them out and around, and then in and around the other way. Good, one more time. Nice breathing, nice job, and then relax. Okay, we've got one more here, and then we're gonna move into tabletop. So again, extend the arms forward. Now this one is a little technical, so just listen up and follow along. We're gonna cross the left wrist up and over the right. From there, flip the palms to touch, interlace the fingers, and then pull your fist in towards your chest, and then out and around, and then ultimately back away from you. Now, as you see, I don't have to go very far, and I'm feeling this stretch a lot in my outer wrist. So just go where you can, even if it's back down here. Nice deep breathing. Don't force this one. Good. And then we'll come out of it the same way we came in. Fists come through and out, and then we'll just release the fingers and shake out the hands. Other side, here we go. Arms extend. This time, right wrist comes up and over the left. Flip the palms to touch, interlace the fingers, and then nice and slow, pull the hands through. Nice deep breathing. Nicely done. Slowly come out the same way you came in, release, and let that go. Awesome job. One last exercise right here. And remember as well, you don't have to do all of these together. Now that we've run through most of them, you can always kind of pick and choose which ones you'd like to use and which ones serve your needs that day. So from tabletop right here, we're just gonna bring our shoulders to stack above our wrists and then gently sway side to side. Just moving and mobilizing that wrist joint. Good, nice and gentle here. And then we'll meet back in center. And all we're gonna do is flip the hands down. So top of the hands on the mat. Now the further you send your seat back towards your heels, the gentler the stretch here. So the further you come forward, the more weight that's going to be applied on the wrist. So be very gentle here. That's gonna bring the stretch deeper. So you can gently rock back and forth a few inches. And again, just be mindful, move slowly, deep breathing, and listen to your body. If it's too intense, if it's too much, just back off. Good. We'll come back through center. We're gonna flip the palms up and then see if it's available to you to flip the hands around. So now we bring the fingers towards the knees. Nice deep breathing. This might be plenty for you. You can slightly peel the heel of the wrist up and off the mat if you want to go a little deeper. Deep breath. And then we'll come back through center and we'll flip it around. And shake it out. Awesome job. Okay, so from here we're going to move into a few yoga poses that are really great for strengthening and increasing the mobility in the wrists. The first one is called Padahastasana. So we're going to come into standing. This is also referred to as gorilla pose. And to begin, just bring your feet hip-width distance apart. Now, you can bend your knees as much as you need to here. For me, my hamstrings feel pretty tight today, so I'm gonna bend nice and deep, and then I'm gonna lift one foot at a time as I slide the top of my hand underneath my foot so that my palms are facing up and I'm stepping on them. Now, again, bend your knees as much as you need to here because you wanna get your toes all the way to your wrist crease. So wiggle those toes up there and then wiggle them around. Give your wrist a nice little massage. I love this. So a nice wrist opener here, gentle weight being applied on the wrist joint. And then when you're done with that massage, you're just gonna keep the toes steady, let the crown of your head hang completely heavy. And then if you'd like to add a little more, you can work into straightening into the legs. Again, it doesn't matter how much you bend the knees or not. Really what we're working for here is the opening through the wrist, which we're getting with that weight on the hands and the wrist. So take a few deep breaths here. Good, one more. And as you're ready, we'll slowly release, lifting the toes, releasing the hands down. From there, just let the head hang heavy again. You can keep a micro bend in your knees. We're gonna interlace the hands behind the backs and let your hands hang up and overhead towards the front of the mat. Take a deep inhale breath. And with your exhale, slowly release. And we're just gonna come right back down. From there, we're gonna take one more yoga pose, reverse plank or upward facing plank. So we're gonna plant the palms behind us, hands are shoulder distance apart. Your fingers are facing towards your heels, and as you're ready, we're just gonna lift and straighten into the legs. Let the head hang back and breathe. Point the toes down towards the mat. Breathe into the stretch here. One more breath, hips lift high. And slowly release down. Awesome job. Now the final thing that I want to review with you is a few alternatives that you can do if you're experiencing wrist pain during your practice. So first off is practicing on your fists instead of your palms. So this is great for poses like plank, where there's a lot of weight directly on the wrist joint. So I'll show you what this looks like as opposed to a traditional plank where we're pressing the palms into the mat. Instead, we're gonna make a fist and we're gonna press the knuckles into the mat. Now it's important to make a straight line of energy from the knuckles to the wrists to the elbows to the shoulders. Keeping this straight line of energy is much easier to practice on the wrists. Good, so that's option number one. Now another technique you can use is creating a slight elevation and angle for the wrists. And how we can do that easily is just rolling up your towel or even your yoga mat and creating that base. Now I'm gonna take the heel of my wrist and press it right into the edge of where the mat is rolled up, or your towel if you have that. From here, you can take a pose like downward facing dog, and you'll see that my wrists have that slight angle up, which is again taking the pressure directly out of the wrist joint. When you're ready to release, you can come back down, and you can always use that in your practice when you need those two variations. Well, that concludes this video all about the wrists. Thank you so much for joining me. I would love to hear from you in the comments if you have any questions about what we reviewed here today. And we also created this video based on questions we've received about other yoga videos. So if you have other questions that you'd like to see made into a video, let us know and we might just do that. Please be sure to subscribe to our Yogi Approved YouTube channel to stay up to date on all of our latest videos. See you next time.